Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into something really practical, keeping your home warm and safe, especially thinking about those intense Canadian winters. We've got some great sources, including specific research on boiler services in Ladner Delta, looking at how local expertise really makes a difference.
Right. And our mission today is pretty simple. Cut through the noise, pull out the key benefits and, the local know-how from these professional sources. We want you, the listener, to feel well-informed about your heating system this season.
Okay, let's jump right in then. The source material really hammers this point about experts being local, specifically Ladner Delta. Why is that so crucial? Isn't boiler work, well, pretty standard everywhere?
Well, that's where it gets interesting. It's actually highly customized knowledge. Think of that local understanding as your first line of defense, really. The sources, like the one from Pacific Blue Mechanical, show that pros who work in the Fraser Valley, they know the deal, they understand the challenges of our sustained, damp, cool weather, plus those really sharp cold snaps. It's not just generic heating work, it's tailored. They know about specific venting rules for high humidity, things that might prevent dangerous moisture issues that someone from outside the area might miss.
Okay, so the local climate actually shapes the technical requirements.
Exactly. And because they know the climate inside out, they can point homeowners towards very specific solutions, like recommending high-efficiency condensing boilers, for instance. They know those perform best here and maximize savings on, say, natural gas.
Savings. Okay, let's talk about that because the sources list some big benefits. But annual maintenance does have that upfront cost, right?
Yeah.
What's the typical return on investment according to what we've seen? Does it really save enough to justify paying for it each year?
That's a fair question. And the sources frame it clearly. It's a preventative investment, not just an expense. Yes, there's an upfront cost. But professional service delivers three really significant benefits. First, safety assurance. Experts are trained to spot hidden dangers like carbon monoxide leaks. You can't put a price on that. Second, you get an extended lifespan for your boiler. Regular checks can mean it lasts years longer, maybe avoiding a $10,000 replacement down the road. And third, real cost savings. Because they catch the small stuff, a sensor acting up, maybe some circulation issues before they snowball into massive, expensive breakdowns.
Right, so it's less an expense, more like protecting your investment. Asset protection. The source also touched on a couple of boiler types, efficient ones. Could you give us a quick rundown? What's the difference between, say, a combi and a condensing boiler?
Sure. So combi boilers, the combi, is for a combination, they do both your heating and your hot water from one unit. Great space savers. But, and the source kind of hints at this, there can be a trade-off with flow rate. Run too many hot taps at once, you might notice the pressure or temperature dip a bit.
Okay. And the condensing boilers, the high-efficiency ones.
Yeah, this is where the smart tech comes in. They're efficient because they capture extra heat, latent heat from the exhaust gases. Normally, that heat just goes up the chimney as steam. But these units cool the steam back into water, grabbing that heat and using it to pre-warm the water coming back into the boiler. It basically recycles heat. Can boost efficiency by up to 20% compared to older models. Pretty clever thermodynamics, really.
Very clever. So pulling this all together, what's the main action item for listeners wanting to keep their system running well and, properly?
Well, the message from the sources, including that Pacific Blue Mechanical site review, is pretty consistent. Get your boiler serviced at least once a year, annually. But, and this is important, they really stress choosing someone reputable. Check for licenses, look at reviews. You want to make sure they know the local codes and regulations here in BC.
Makes sense. So the long view is pretty clear. Regular checks mean reliability, lower energy bills.
Exactly. And actually connecting this to the bigger picture, there's a final interesting point from the sources. We talked about savings from efficiency, but they also note that having a modern, efficient heating system can actually boost your property value, especially in markets like Ladner and Delta. It raises a thought, doesn't it? Is a top-notch, reliable heating system becoming the new must-have feature for buyers? Maybe even more important than some cosmetic upgrades. Definitely something to mull over if you're thinking about home improvements or value.